Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a bumpy ride.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
Maybe you need a timeout.
Welcome to the Luke and Rory podcast. Here are two guys, knuckleheads if you may, who jump in front of a camera and do a Facebook Live show.
You know, it's exciting.
They've decided to take that Facebook Live show and put it into a podcast.
Oh, good for you!
Why? Because can you really get enough of Luke and Rory?
That's a good one.
Meet Luke Weaver, who's known for his dead sexy hair.
You're an awful man. You are truly a disappointment to its own.
Meet Rory Pitts, who's never found an apple cup he can't be disappointed about.
I'm telling you, that man does not look stable.
Two guys who went to the same high school, love the same music, love sports, love movies, love their families.
Look at these clowns. Hand-picked monkeys.
All right, looks like the boys are caffeinated and ready to go.
I want to get some coffee. You want some coffee?
That's enough nonsense. Now let's join the show.
Sound good?
I'm barely caffeinated. I know that intro says that we're caffeinated, ready to go, but I am barely caffeinated.
Yeah, I've only had like 12 ounces this morning, so not nearly enough.
I had 10.
Okay.
I had 10, a little bit of OJ.
Well, good morning, Mariah. Well under the recommended limit.
Oh, gosh.
For Luke and Rory.
Well, for me, I got to drive 50 hours to get here, so
And I believe
I can't drink a lot.
Give or take 5 minutes.
I mean, by the time I walk into the coffee shop, I'm like, get out of the way. I am going to spray the bathroom.
It was out of the way.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Luke and Rory Show. That's Luke. I'm Rory. We don't know how much longer we're going to be Luke, and I'm going to be Rory. We may switch it, and, maybe next week I'm Luke and he's Rory. We don't know.
Yeah.
Everything's so topsy-turvy right now in life.
So we don't, yeah.
I mean, I could be Brenda next week.
All these random thoughts keep popping in my brain, and I'm like, I shouldn't say that.
I had an incident like that yesterday.
I'm randomly, actually, weirdly enough, I'm controlling it. You had an incident like that yesterday?
Yeah, I didn't control it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it's been a long.
Did you sleep on the couch
12
last night? Or?
Almost. Almost. Yeah.
On behalf of Luke and Rory and all of our Patreons, we apologize, Christy.
Wait, we have Patreons?
Yeah.
Why haven't we monetized this by now? Weird. This is why we're idiots.
Yeah.
We've been doing this show since basically 202018, and we have not monetized it.
I'm pretty sure this isn't why we're idiots. It's one of the reasons.
It's one of the many reasons why we're idiots.
Dude, dude, I got it up on my phone so I can watch the comments or whatever. It just rewinded to the beginning, and now it's catching up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see how many comments we get to see today.
Oh, well, we get morning from Mariah.
Yeah, we got that. I mean, we may just have to leave that one up all morning because I StreamYard after we're done with each episode and I hit end stream, StreamYard pops up and says, "How was the show?" And normally I'm just like thumbs up.
Great.
Well, last week it sucked because I couldn't see your guys' comments, and so I said it sucked. And I said why? And I get an email from StreamYard. Okay, thanks.
Okay, thanks. No, how about we're working on it? Sorry for
customer service 101.
Yeah. Okay, thanks. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Well, hey, we're doing great. We've got this new system in place where we don't talk to each other until the day of the show. So how you been?
About 3 weeks.
I texted him on Monday. Good.
We talked on Monday, I think. Yeah, like 10 minutes maybe. I know you. Apparently we needed a break from each other. We didn't even know it.
The funny was I had something to text you yesterday, and I'm like, no, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I had something to text you, and I'm like, he'll find out on Friday.
I think it's not like I'm not irritated by you per se.
Oh, today's episode is brought to you by therapy, where you should get it all the time.
No, I'm just irritated by like work in real estate. So I'm like, if I talk to Rory, we're going to talk about work, and I don't want to talk about work. So
you know what? I can relate.
Yeah,
I can relate.
So I'm just
like I wanted to send you a funny text last night, or I wanted to send you a funny meme.
Yeah.
I'm like, no.
It's yeah.
Because I'm like, why just send this to Luke? Real estate. Oh,
I think we talked about.
Never mind.
I talked about boys in the boat on Monday and Father's Day.
Oh, we did talk on the phone.
Yeah, for like 10 minutes. Yeah.
I'm going senile.
And then you were like, "Hey, quick work thing," and then I was like,
Oh, that's right.
All right, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah, we talked about RevShare briefly,
That's right.
and then we jumped off.
Oh, and with EXP, the first rule about RevShare is we don't talk about RevShare.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about EXP.
Yeah. Is that the first rule of RevShare? All right, Brad Pitt. Okay.
Well,
anyway,
hey, is anybody else out there? If you're out there, leave us a
Schley's
comment.
on. Morning, Schley.
Leave us a
Morning,
comment because we don't know if the comments are
So
working this
my
morning.
phone just keeps freezing.
That's awesome.
I'm gonna turn off the Wi-Fi.
I can tell. You know what? Can I start off with what grinds my gears?
Boy.
I mean, maybe the entire episode.
Settle in, everyone. Yeah.
What grinds my gears is you all know that I drive here from Tahuya every Thursday morning. Oh, look, there's Schley.
Yeah. Oh,
And
Matt
there's Hilditch.
Hey, Matt Hilditch made a point to reach out to me today. He's like, "Hey, what verifying what coffee shop you guys do this?"
Oh, boy.
Electric Coffee House,
That's right.
downtown Sumner, right on Main. Who we love, Christina, the whole crew. And I
Right
said,
next to the tracks.
I said, Matt, you should be a guest, and he got blushed and was like, "I do declare." And so I think we might have Hilditch on.
Well,
Yeah.
before I tell you what grinds my gears, they've kind of changed our setup here.
How about the Mariners? Absolutely.
And
Schley.
we love Electric Coffee House. So
Yes.
don't get us wrong, but they changed our setup here. And what you guys don't see is a smaller table. We're a lot closer than I really
and
want to be.
the weird thing is that Rory and I are no smaller.
No,
So yeah.
And we were going to do the show with the graduates today, and I'm kind of thankful we didn't.
Yeah, we'll have to figure that out. You guys can't see it, but I'm actually sitting on Rory's right leg.
Oh my gosh, I know I'm very uncomfortable right now. Okay, so what grinds my gears? I drive from Tahuya to Sumner every Thursday morning to do the show. And it really doesn't have anything to do with that other than when I come over to this side of the bridge.
I was gonna say, don't say it's the drive because you love driving more than anybody.
No,
I
it
know.
is the drive. What I'm going to share is the drive.
Okay.
So basically, once you get past Sedgwick,
Yeah.
you know what? I'll be kind. Once you get past Mullinex,
All right. The next exit after Cedric.
you left lane camping mother.
Fathers.
Get out of the lane.
Yeah.
For the love of everything that is holy in this world, get out of the lane. If you're doing 55
In a
in
60.
the left lane, get out of the lane.
They're doing 60 in the left lane. Like that's the bare minimum for being on the freeway.
Right.
Like, let alone the left lane.
It only gets worse as I get closer to Gig Harbor, and then I get across the bridge. So today I drove the Echo because Christy's got something going on today. But normally when I drive the Tucson has really cool features where you can put it into smart mode, which is supposed to be gas efficient. You put it into normal, which is normal.
Yeah.
You put it into snow mode, or you can put it into sport mode.
Oh,
What
yeah.
sport mode does is it makes the steering tighter.
Yeah.
And it makes
So you can hug those hairpin
and
turns.
it makes the transmission get up and go a lot quicker.
Yeah.
And I tell you, when I get past Purdy before I get to the Burnham exit, I'm switching that to sport mode.
So the Echo doesn't have sport mode.
Oh, it's my freaking foot. And I had to do it this morning.
Switch to sport mode.
Oh my gosh. I felt like Ricky Bobby when I was going by the Tacoma because I'm like, okay, I'm downshifting into third, going into fourth, and I'm passing going into fifth.
Good morning, Cloud. Good to see you, buddy.
Oh, okay.
Cloud is on.
All right. There's my gear, and I've grinded it.
Dude, the worst is like you get on 90, and you get past like
Once you get past all the rocks getting thrown at you.
Yeah, exactly. But then you get up over the pass and it kicks into 70 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and you still have those left lane people going 60, and I'm like, bro, this isn't Highway 16. Like, we are straight for the next 2,000
you
miles.
can't say that. You can't say that in this month.
Oh, sorry, yeah, I'm not straight. Yeah. That's a good one.
You walked right into
That was a good
one.
one. Yeah, that was a good one. Well played, sir.
Sorry.
The road has no curves in it for 2,000 miles. You can go 85, like, really bad an eyelash. Like, get going. Yeah, that's the worst, dude. Even I'm pulling the trailer. I'm like, guys, let's step it up. Like I even try to go 70 when I'm pulling the trailer. So,
I don't want to say I'm holier than thou because I am my own bad kid. Like I do things on the road that I know I shouldn't do.
You're a son of a bee.
But I will tell you this: I do get in the right lane. I will let cars that are hauling ass behind me.
Yeah.
I'll let them go.
Yeah.
I just it irritates the living crap out of me when you got people that are doing 55 or 60 in the left lane.
Oh, good morning, Maddie.
Bro, the right lane is open. Yeah. You can go over.
Absolutely.
And I saw the opposite last week. I saw somebody slowly get onto the freeway, and then they went over into the left lane.
That cracks me up.
I'm like, why?
Yeah. No one in front. They moved to the left lane.
There's the graduate. Good morning, Maddie. Weaver.
Hey, real quick, I want to throw something out there. Somebody out there, one of you, or other people that don't watch our show, nominated Rory and I for the best real estate team in Pierce County.
Damn you.
I know. Now we got
why would you do that?
Expectations, the weight. No, but
I really got to cut back on the S-bombs for a little bit.
I just wanted to say thank you for whoever that was. I'm gonna actually, if you guys wouldn't mind, since we got a dog, since we got a horse in the race now, I just put it on there.
That's our cheap effects.
And don't let this, convince you that we don't work in other places other than Pierce County, because we've been in 8 or 9 counties.
You know what? We actually got somebody wanted to give us a lead in Moses Lake this morning.
Oh man!
And I told him, bro, that's at least 3 hours away.
Is it a listing? I'll do a listing in Moses Lake.
I don't know. You can reach out to Dibs if you want.
All right,
Dibs was the one who reached out to me.
I'll call Dibs. If it's a listing, I'll do it.
I told Dibs, I said, you know what? If you still want to give us the lead, I'll put Luke on it.
So I just put it in there. Vote Pierce County real estate team. Scroll by everyone else you see on that list until you see Luke and Rory, and hit submit. We greatly appreciate it. But thank you to anybody, whoever it was that nominated us. We greatly appreciate it. And so since we're in it, we might as well see if we can get some votes.
Yeah, why not?
So if you want, there's the link.
We're the Robert Kennedy Jr. of the vote Pierce County.
It's funny because there's other teams in there that like we know, and I'm like, oh, they're good. F them. I should give them no.
You know the funny thing is, I think I voted, and that was the only thing I voted for was best team. Us.
Yeah, I didn't vote for
anything else.
Click out. Yeah.
Best sushi. I don't know. I don't have time. I've got other things to do.
Yeah.
Hilda said he was thinking of coming down to the Electric Coffee House today to surprise you, but then I heard I would have to cram in there. Oh, bro.
Yeah, and that would be 3 not small dudes.
Yeah, it's not a knock on you, man. There's no room. Like we'll have to figure out what we're gonna do if we have Ryan and Maddy next week. We're literally gonna have to figure this bad boy
figure it out.
Yeah, we'll have to put it on the 115. Like today, we got it on the 78 degree. I actually made it a little more intimate. Yeah, see here, I'll show you.
I know, and actually,
look,
it's good, man.
Yeah, or we could do this.
Hey, if you hop on here, make sure you say hi so that we know who's hopping on.
There you go. Now everybody can see how small the table is today.
Hey, if you hop on, make sure you say hi so we can say hi back.
And here we go, intimate again.
Oh, we're going intimate. Woo! We like it intimate. Yeah.
There we go. Oh, brother.
I told you I'm sitting on his lap. We're intimate.
Oh my gosh. Wait, maybe 90. What's 90 do?
That's good.
Oh, all right, 90 works.
Get off my lap. Apparently, Rory doesn't like me being close.
No, you're sweaty.
Do I smell funny?
Smell of what is it? What do you smell of? Beef and cheese.
Hand carved mahogany. Yeah.
Let's see.
Sex Panther.
Oh, sometimes it works.
They've done studies. They've done studies on it.
Hey, so
60% of the time it works every time.
So Schley said, "Hey, how about the Mariners?" And I happened to look at the Mariners the other day and went, "Oh wow,
10 games up.
How about the Mariners?"
Yeah, they lost yesterday. They're 9 games up right now. But
well, now they suck.
Oh yeah,
they can. So hey,
we're up 2-0 right now.
Look at that. Take that, Indians.
Suck it, Guardians.
Go ahead. Cancel me. He ain't gonna cancel anything. There's nothing to cancel.
Yeah.
So somebody mentioned today's a free for all. You guys are guiding the show.
Yeah, if you guys want to talk about something, there's something you want to talk about, put it in there. If not, we're going to just talk.
We're just gonna leave. Yeah. We're gonna leave.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned about three sports stars have died in the past week or something. I know about the great Willie Mays, which I thought was odd because he's got a new documentary that just came out. And I was asking myself, is he still alive? Did he pass away? And then 2 days later, he passes away.
I love when you're like, it's kind of odd. He's got a documentary out. He's 93, dude.
Oh, I know he's old, but I
well, he's
couldn't
not
remember.
93 anymore. But.
No.
Yeah.
But I was thinking he had already passed away.
Yeah.
And then when I saw, was it yesterday or the night before, Willie Mays passed away, I'm like,
Yeah.
what? What kind of timing is that? You pass away when your documentary comes out.
It's funny that, like, Ken Griffey Jr. put out, like, I'm shocked. I'm deeply saddened. And I was
Shocked?
like, we're not talking, he didn't get hit by a car. He's 93. Like,
Yeah.
why are we shocked? Like, every day you wake up and you text Willie and he texts you back. That's when you should be shocked. Like, but
Biden put together a
Love you,
complete
Griffey.
sentence. That should shock you.
Yeah.
Maddie says there was an 18-year-old Olympian who passed away a few days ago, too.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh. Suddenly, unexpected?
Unexpected deaths. Gosh, what's his name? He New Zealand rugby player. He's 24, 27, somewhere in that range. Anyway.
Jamie Tart?
Jamie Tart, Jamie Tart, rugby player. Anyway, he's played for the All Blacks. He's Maori, and they called it a medical episode, is all they're saying.
Oh, he was a diver and was practicing, hit the water wrong.
Jeez,
Holy crap.
Louise.
Was he diving? Was he like Bugs Bunny diving into a cup?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Like Wile E. Coyote going after, that's
I
crazy.
mean, a bad belly flop.
That's sad.
Man, holy
That
crap.
is sad. The young rugby player, just professional rugby player, says medical event.
Can I just say it's very strange to have your daughter so interactive in the show
I know, right?
because you got nothing else to do right
Dude, it
now.
was kind of weird. When she's supposed to be working, but they called off work for the day at the farm. But I know we could have had her on the show. But
And Ryan has stayed over at his brother's house,
yeah,
so I literally could have picked him up on the way.
they called her last night, and then she's like, "Well, do we want to do the show?" And I was like, "At this point, like, I don't think so."
She'll be called in next week.
Good morning, Aunt Terry. What was I going to say? Oh, the weirdest one was she had her last day of school on Thursday.
Yeah.
So Friday, everyone goes to school. I took Lainey. Rachel took the littles. I'm at home by myself. Get some coffee. Got my computer. And all of a sudden, Maddie walks downstairs, and I was like, "No!" I'm like, "What are you doing here?" Oh, that's right. So
You're allowed to be home.
she's an alumni, dude. That's crazy.
I know. Same alumni as Brock Heward and Damon Heward and
Yeah.
who else? Who else is a famous alumni from Puyallup?
Brock Heward, Damon Heward, Luke Heward, George Hunt, Shorty Hunt of the Boys in the Boat rowing team.
The guy from A Christmas Story,
Yes.
Gavin.
Gavin, the dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe he
Gavin-
is an alumnus. Of
Yeah.
Puyallup. Or at
Bill's
least
got
he
quite a
lived
few.
there. Ooh, excuse me. Coffee's good.
Where did Megan Kwan go to school?
She probably went to Rogers.
That's what I think.
That would
yeah.
be my guess.
We
don't know.
Yeah.
We're just talking out of
Screw
our
Rogers. Speaking of
eyeballs.
screwing Rogers, the Laney led the varsity team last night with 18 points to a summer league win over Rogers.
Oh,
Suck it, Rams.
we'll take that.
Yeah, I know it's kind of funny. We're like, it's just a summer league game, but beating Rogers always is like a little extra.
While we're talking about WNBA basketball,
Yeah,
did you hear that they're still losing money with Caitlin Clark?
it's just bad stewardship.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
You got gold right there on the court.
I know. Figure it out.
Wow.
Figure it out.
Janet Fink says, "Is it okay to ask for prayer?" Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I have a lump.
Lumpectomy surgery for breast cancer.
Uh,
I'm a bit scared and haven't been in a good mental space.
Yep.
Janet-
When are you going in? Let us know when you're going in, and we'll include you in our
First
family
off,
prayers.
Jen, it's okay to be scared.
Yeah.
These things hit, but I have faith you're going to be okay, and we're going to pray for you.
Yep.
And you're going to be all right.
Matt says lots of great sports now that aren't the big focus ones. Usually, Summer Olympics coming up, Tour de France,
Oh,
Euro
dude.
Cup.
Dude, here, let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about Olympics and Tour de France because it's just random. And I want to talk about Stephen King. Okay, so
Holy crap, we're
I
really
know.
going random.
we're going
today.
random. First off, I freaking love the Olympics. I don't know about you, but
I used to.
love.
I don't know why, but I used to.
You don't know why, but you used to. You don't know why, but you don't anymore.
I don't as much as I used to.
That's
I used to
interesting.
be stoked about the Olympics.
Oh, I'm like cloud nine.
I could tell you,
like no.
I got a
sleep.
taste of it in '84. I was just a little squirt, but I got a taste of it. And then in '88, I was like, okay, this is something. And then, of course, '92, the freaking dream team.
Yeah, oh, bro.
Tearing up the world.
Yeah.
And so '92, '96.
I feel like it peaked with Michael Phelps.
I think so, too. I would agree.
Yeah. I think it peaked up with Michael for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because that was something we'd never seen before. So many people in his
Because
corner.
there was London in 2012, which was really cool. And then 2016, it was...
Beijing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where Phelps went.
Communist Beijing.
Yeah.
And then 2020 got postponed to 2021, which was
I know it's
Tokyo.
so funny. It still says 2021 or still says
No,
London.
Beijing was 2008.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. London
2016.
2012.
Where's 2016 at, you guys? We should know this.
We're coming up on Paris.
Yeah, which is kind of funny with Paris. It sounds like they're having some political turmoil over there right now.
Weird.
And I guess the way that their system works is they can like do snap elections like on the spot like that. And so there's a chance that
We need that.
Macron, well, he's already called for snap elections. There's a chance Macron and his party could lose,
Yeah.
which means he'd basically be out of town for the Olympics. And if the Olympics becomes a hot mess, then he can say, "Hey, I
Well, my
warned
fault.
you."
Yeah, well, my fault.
Conspiracy, man.
Should we have another snap election?
Oh boy.
So I love the Olympics.
Continue with the Olympics.
And
Matt says whitewater kayak is a blast to watch, and team handball is a cool sport. I like the swimming and hoops and gymnastics and all the usual ones that get covered, but some of those other are awesome to catch if you can.
yeah, if you can get on those off channels and you get to see the random stuff like shooting and different things, like or horse riding even. Like I've never been more into like steeplechases in my life. Like, but my favorite's the swimming. Always has been, even more than the basketball.
Yeah.
I love the swimming. Track and field is amazing. Sha'Carri Richardson, that girl can fly. I'm excited to watch her.
Is that the one that got busted for weed?
Yeah, of all the dumb things. Yeah.
I think we talked about that last week.
But I'm super. I've been watching the swimming U.S. trials the last couple of days. Always a ton of fun. There's some kids coming out of nowhere, man.
How's Leah Thomas doing?
That's a great question. I don't know. She did not make it.
He did not make it?
He did not make it. Yeah. Gosh, even I'm confused.
Go ahead, cancel me.
I know. You know what, though? This was a good point, and we can get on that in a second. But anyways, we'll get on that in a second. I'm excited for the Olympics. I'm really excited for the Olympics. And then what else did Hilda say that got me going? Oh, the Tour de France. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't watch it anymore because Lance Armstrong isn't in it. Give him back his titles. It's stupid. Like if you watch any documentary on everything that was going on in cycling at the time, everybody in the world was doping at the time. And I said long before I even saw one of his documentaries, and I'm like, if you're Lance Armstrong and you're the best in the world at what you do, and you're getting beat by people who
Ivan Drago.
Yeah, you're getting beat by people who aren't in your class. Don't put in the work. Of course, you're going to level the playing field. And then I saw that in one of the documentaries. He goes, all of a sudden, people were beating me and passing me that I had been smoking since we were teenagers, and I knew that they were not better than me and not putting in the work. And he's like, and so I'm leveling the playing field. And I'm like, everybody was doing it. Like, if you want to put an asterisk by it, like this was like baseball, like this was doping era, fine, whatever. But to take away all of his yellow jerseys when he wasn't the problem, he was part of the problem.
Right.
It's just dumb. It's just dumb. In my mind, he's still Tour de France champion.
Do you feel like that with the guys who were doping in baseball?
No. And the only reason I feel like that is, and I think I would if everybody was doping, but there's been enough research done that it wasn't everybody. It was a smaller. And so I think when you have guys like Ken Griffey Jr. that were part of that era and that was not and putting up the numbers, that's the difference to me.
Yeah.
But when you figure Lance Armstrong and then the second in the world at that time for that whole time was Jan Ullrich, and Jan Ullrich got caught a couple times doping. And nothing against Jan Ullrich. I've seen him in interviews. I think he's a great guy. I just think that in that world, everybody was doing it. And so if everyone else, and I know if everyone's jumping off a bridge, would you? Maybe. how high is the bridge?
How much money?
Yeah. But it's just, I used to say this to my mom all the time. She'd be like, if everyone's on the bridge with you, I would go, I don't know, we're talking Narrows or Treasure Island Bridge. But anyway, that's.
Well, so do you think that Bonds and Clemens and A-Rod, do you think they should go into the Hall of Fame with an asterisk?
I think I go back to the whole thing of since they've now shown that it was a pretty small sample. And when I say small sample, it's probably less than 25% baseball that was doping. I don't think so.
See, I think with Clemens and with Bonds, I think I would let them into the Hall of Fame with an asterisk because they were Hall of Famers before they got caught. Before it was obvious that they were doping.
Right. And that's fair.
I mean, you think about Bonds with the Pirates and even the first couple of years with the Giants, I think he's Hall of Fame material.
It would be great if you could find out, like, if you went to Barry and were like, all right, just be honest, bro, when did you start?
Yeah.
And then be able to say, okay, before then, let's take this sample.
Yeah.
Were you a Hall of Famer before then? Okay, then we're going to take these numbers and put you into the Hall. Right. And that's tough. My argument against it is until you let Pete Rose in, until you let Shoeless Joe Jackson and the White Sox in, then no. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, that being said.
Yeah, I want Pete Rose in before I want those.
Yeah, and Joe Jackson. Now, all that to say, baseball's got a lot to figure out, I think.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I love America's greatest pastime. But the severity of punishment for certain things, example, the betting. Okay. I get it. Baseball, this is like hallowed ground and all this kind of stuff. And we've had a couple different players in the last couple of months get banned for life. One of them was like
that was basketball, wasn't it?
Basketball too, but baseball recently as well. One was a minor leaguer. And I get it. That said, are they betting on their own team? Should there be some kind of an escalation? Like baseball's like you get caught one time, you're out for life.
Yeah.
How about how come you can beat your wife and get like 2 weeks? You know what I'm saying? Like but you bet on some games and it's an immediate life out. And I understand integrity, but how about like human integrity and character? So I have issues with that. And I mean, even if you want to go back, like we're well aware that guys like Ty Cobb were not quality human beings. Right? You know, I mean, there's stories of Ty Cobb going into the stands and beating the hell out of fans who, you know, were jeering him and all this kind of stuff. But yet you can be a decent human being, make the mistake of having a gambling problem or whatever, and it's immediate, you're out. Like, I don't even like it. It is like insider trading in a way. I get that.
Well, I'd say, and you know what, when she says insider trading, again, they're not being fair because you've got someone like Martha Stewart, who I can't believe I'm going to defend Martha Stewart, but Martha Stewart gets thrown in the clink.
Hell of a baker.
For I can't remember how many, was it 2 years?
Yeah.
Year and a half, something like that. So she gets thrown in the clink, but you got congressmen and congresswomen who are making money hand over fist, and you can't tell me they're not doing insider trading.
We got James Kendall.
Yep.
You're great, James. You're great. Professional boxer, James Kendall.
That's right. Professional grandfather, too.
You know what's funny, James, if you're on here, still, I came across the other day. I say the other day, it was like months ago, but I came across my old, my old DARE binder from back in the day. I remember DARE, Drug Abuse Resistance
That did
Education.
A lot of good.
Yeah. And it has, I remember having James, because I was in like 5th grade, and James was all-world football player, you know, in high school.
He was fun to watch.
Gosh, yeah, he was. And I had his autograph in the back. So anyways, I have your autograph in the back. So I have professional boxer, James Kendall's autograph. So I'm going to
throw it on eBay.
I got to take that to some.
You got to get it while it's hot. Throw it on eBay.
He's laughing. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you what, man, that was when we were in 5th grade, dude, we idolized Kendall. Like he was, I still do, bro. I love you. But it was just like when he came down to do the DARE stuff, we were just like, oh my gosh, you know. So it was.
Yeah, and I tell you, it was fun to watch.
You'll lose money. I will pay you to take
it. Was absolutely fun to watch him.
Yeah.
You know, I was just a peon on the freshman squad, and Coach Pugh set me up with the camera. I had to be the camera guy for the varsity. And the very first time, I think I shared the story. The very first time I recorded the varsity, I gave my commentary.
Oh, did you?
So Coach Pugh pulled me aside and said, "You need to shut up during the game." But yeah, I was recording. James was a junior when I was a freshman, and so I got to watch him my freshman year and my sophomore year. He's fun to watch. I mean, he kind of was almost like Barry.
James is going to get on the show every Thursday. He's like, "Hey, honey, come listen to these guys." Anyway.
Oh gosh, why am I brain farting?
Who?
The Lions. Barry Sanders.
Oh, Sanders, yeah.
Yeah, he was Barry Sanders-ish.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just like, he goes in and be like, nope. I mean, it's almost like what Chris Berman. It's almost like he had Chris Berman in his head. He's like, go this way, nope. Go this way, nope. I mean, he was just he was fun to watch.
James is just one of those guys that's just a really like great all-around athlete.
Yeah.
Like, I've never done this before. How do you hit a tennis ball? Wham, winner. Like, just
100-meter dash. I've never
ton
done
of
this
fun,
before.
Jimmy Kendall. And so, thanks for jumping on, bud. We love you too. What were we talking about? So yeah, that was how I feel about Tour de France. And I haven't watched it really since Lance. I was sucked in when it was Lance Armstrong. Let me tell you what, who wasn't really? I mean, like
me.
Oh man, I was like,
you know what I find is
this dude's got one nut. He's been through brain cancer. And
I find tragedy
cancer.
is that the Olympics took baseball out as an Olympic sport. And they've just since put it back in as an exhibition sport.
But they've added like 3-on-3 basketball. Like, really? I know.
Baseball. It's because the rest of the world hates America.
Yeah, that's why.
They hate apple pie.
Can you blame them?
The American flag and baseball.
Can you blame them?
Screw them. I don't care.
I know.
I'm upset, but I don't care.
All right. What are we on to next? I was going to tell you.
So, are you going to Paris to see the Olympics?
No.
I mean, we've had a gangbusters year. You should be able to head right on
I'm
over
going
there.
to Paris living room to watch.
I can't even go to Paris, Texas.
Yeah. I always forget there's a Paris, Texas.
My daughter's going to Texas next month.
This ain't Texas.
Jessie is going to some
she's
writers' conference.
So she's a legend. We need to get her autograph.
Man.
Or she becomes some famous screenwriter.
I've got some incriminating photos of her when she was in a bathtub at 1.5 years old.
Oh, jeez.
And a My Little Pony.
Yeah, dude, I saw that. I was big congrats to Jess. His daughter, for those of you guys who don't know, is a playwright. And she's been selected for some big, I don't want to call it a conference. It's like, I don't know, a showcase or something.
Something like that,
yeah. It's pretty cool, man. So good for her. And like, not just like as an afterthought. Like I saw like the banners for it, like her face is on there. Oh, she's like a headliner.
I know.
Like in her world, people are like, "Holy crap, Jesse Pitts is going to be there."
I know. And all we got was, Jesse's going to Texas in July, and all of a sudden I see on Instagram, whatever, this official banner.
Hey, daughter, can you tell me like it's a big deal? Not just you're going on vacation or something to Texas? Yeah. Random, dude. Excited for it. It's good stuff.
All right, what else we got to talk about? I know there were other things.
So I'm in the middle of a Stephen King book.
Oh, that's right.
And
L. Stephen Kingo.
I'm here to tell you.
Wait. The ex-Stanford coach. The ex-Stanford coach is joining the Broncos front office. David Shaw.
That didn't surprise me.
Okay. Oh, yeah, we'll get to that too. College football. We'll get to that too. All right. So you were talking about Stephen King, the most irritating liberal writer in the world right now.
So Oh, no, hold on.
In my opinion.
While we're still in the Olympics, in the Leah Thomas thing.
Oh.
I heard a really good discussion about this the other day.
Okay.
And it was from a female athlete. And I can't remember. She was like a former.
There he is.
Hey, what's up, man? She was a former like Division I swimmer, and it's not Riley Gaines, whatever. But
Riley Gaines.
Anyways, this girl was arguing with her, and the point was made because she's like, "Well, it's testosterone blockers and estrogen for a year, whatever else." And so, this gal brought up all these stats about bone density, foot length, lung capacity, heart size, shoulder size, like all this stuff.
Credit score?
Credit score, yeah. And I think, and it was, and even the gal that was arguing with her that was like pro Leah Thomas, by the time it was done, was like, "You're right." And that's been the thing, right? That's been my thing from the beginning. It's like, Leah, you want to go From laps at the Y, rock and roll.
Right.
You want to compete in the men's division, but still wear a dress, rock and roll. Live your life. Cool. But it is an obvious advantage when you get in the pool at 6'5", size 14 shoes.
Big old flippers.
Your heart is bigger. Your lungs are bigger. You know what I'm saying? Like this isn't like
Your penis is bigger.
yeah. This isn't. It isn't about testosterone and estrogen, right? It's about all the benefits you had growing up that make you a stronger competitor.
It's your male privilege.
Yeah. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents on it.
You're a misogynist, racist.
I am.
Pig.
I am. I'm a jerk. Not the first time I've heard it. Won't be the last. Feelings are not hurt.
Hell, I'm going to say that to him right after the show.
I've said this to people. It doesn't mean if someone wants, if a 30-year-old dude, whatever, wants to be a girl or be a girl, dude, I'm not here to tell you how to live your life.
Yeah.
But there's certain things I can't do. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like I will never be a jockey. As much as I love thoroughbred horse racing, I'm not going to go down there and say I identify as a 5'4", 127-pound man. They're going to tell me to kick rocks. It's just the way it is. Like life isn't fair. All right. Like,
but it puts strain on the horse.
I remember.
I don't think so.
I remember being 12 years old and going to the McCord Air Force Base Air Show and getting to go sit up in an F-14 Tomcat. You know, being a huge Top Gun fan, and saying that I wanted to be a fighter pilot, and them telling me that I had to be like 6'1" or less, and knowing at that moment that my dream was never going to happen because everyone all the guys in my family are 6'4" and bigger. Like, and it just is what it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't go back. Now, they've changed. That's changed now because the way these jets and stuff, like, the way they've made them now there's no limit. But like, I remember watching when I was like 18, watching Top Gun and seeing Tim Robbins as a pilot. And I'm like, this is a lie. Tim Robbins is way too tall. So anyway.
We actually watched Top Gun on Father's Day. I told you about this.
Yeah.
Christy had seen Top Gun, but it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so we watched it again. And you're probably wondering, why did Christy watch it? Because it was Father's Day.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because it was Rory's day.
Yeah, that's right. And the first observation was, and I kind of agree with her, was there was a lot of cussing in a PG movie.
80s movies were the best.
Oh
weren't they?
my gosh. Yeah.
Like one of the great love scenes of all time, PG. Like, can you imagine?
Yeah, and the funny thing was, because in our house, if I don't catch those things, I get yelled at.
It's your fault.
So every time Take My Breath Away came on, I'm like, oh, crap, pause. And then I'd look ahead. Oh, no, we're good. They're just talking. Okay, good. So it's the first scene where he comes over and they're having lunch and all that. And then a few minutes later, Take My Breath Away. I'm like, pause.
Does she still not want the kid? I mean, they're a lot older now.
Well, yeah.
Or she does not want to watch it with them.
She just, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you've seen Top Gun, you know it's fairly innocent. There's no nudity or anything like that, but it is steamy and what. Okay. So the third time I hear it, I'm like, this has to be it. So pause it, and all of a sudden I see the black silhouettes with the dark blue background. I'm like, okay, I know when this starts. I'll pause it. I'll fast forward, and we'll go to the next thing. So, anyways, but it was kind of funny. A PG movie, and I was trying to tell Ryan and Bella, like, yeah, they didn't come out with PG-13. Well, the thing was, it was Red Dawn that was the first PG-13 movie, I believe. I thought it was.
What's the irony of it, too, is if you look at Top Gun Maverick, it's PG-13 and has far less.
Right. Right. And that's what I was telling Christy.
One F-bomb.
That's what I was telling Christy. I said, Maverick is much more family-friendly.
Yes.
Than Top Gun. And Top Gun was fine.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
It is kind of funny. Yeah, and it's PG-13. That's so random.
So how did we get off on Top Gun there?
We were talking about Father's Day. Oh, Stephen King. So, I'm here to, like, what?
I think things are broke again, or people have left, or nobody cares.
Yeah, no one here about.
Nobody watches Top Gun. Nobody has a father.
Yeah, nobody has a father. You guys are fatherless. You guys are bastards.
Fatherless goat
bastards. Besides your politics not agreeing with Stephen King, you've always been a fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a raving fan, but I enjoyed reading it.
Yeah.
Except for that one chapter.
The last one.
No, not the last chapter. It was like the second or third.
He regrets the ending now.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you don't know the chapter, it basically allows all these teenagers to have sex.
Yeah, it's an orgy. He regrets it.
Yeah, he should. It's
Yeah.
very disturbing.
I heard in an interview him talking about what he was trying to do with it, and at the time it seemed like the right move, and he's like looking back on it, he wishes he would have tried something different.
How does that seem like the right move, even when the world was the way it was back then?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not in Stephen King's head.
I don't want to be in Stephen King's head.
What he was trying to portray. Anyway, all that to say, I was never a fan. Like,
Ever?
I just was like, so I'm like, here I am, you know me, I read a lot.
Oh, I know why you weren't a fan, because you didn't know some of the things that he did.
That's part of it, yeah.
Because you told me, you're like, oh, I didn't realize he wrote this and wrote this and wrote this.
Yeah, that is a big part of it. Yeah, you're right. And it's for the longest time, I'd have all these people be like, Stephen King. And in my mind, like I read a lot of, growing up, I read a lot of Steinbeck. I read a lot of Hemingway. I read a lot of Fitzgerald. I was classics. Like I love.
You're an old soul.
Yeah, I love the classics. And I just, in my mind, even though I hadn't really read any of his stuff, Stephen King was like gratuitous horror.
Oh,
that just worked for like that faction of people who liked horror. And to me, horror was always just like cheap.
is that because you saw all the movies that came out in the 80s, like Christine and Cujo?
I never saw Christine or Cujo. I did see Carrie though.
Carrie.
And then I remember Pet Sematary sticks in my brain as being like one of his.
I remember my mom telling me that was a movie that they were trying to make, but they just could not, for some reason, figure out how to make that movie.
Yeah.
And then when they finally made it, it was garbage.
Yeah, and I just in my mind I always had this thing. I think Stephen King was just gratuitous horror, blood, cheap. Probably not really a good writer. Just will throw the gore and horror at you.
Yeah,
and then you'll be and so for that audience, people. The horror movie guys and stuff, that it works.
Yeah.
And so, but I was like, I wouldn't enjoy Stephen King because I like quality writing. Like,
right.
I can't read a book if it's
yeah.
crap.
You were wrong.
I was so wrong, dude. So I decided a couple months ago.
There we go. Paul says, good morning. I'm still in bed. Screw you, Paul. Love Stephen King, reading one of his books now. Which one?
Nice.
Which book are you reading? Hey, there's Drew.
There he is.
The guy is a huge Red Sox fan. Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you what I've been doing. So
here comes our resident New England champion.
I decided I wanted to read The Body.
Okay.
Because for a long time, Stand By Me is one of my all-time favorite movies.
I love the fact you didn't put two and two
It
together.
took me a while, bro. Yeah, it took a little slow.
Movie based on Stephen King novel.
Yeah, I never really paid attention to that. I was just like, okay, Richard Dreyfuss narrating.
Fairy Tale. He's reading Fairy Tale.
Okay. So I eventually figured out that it was based on a Stephen King book called The Body. And so I was like, I really want to read The Body. So while looking for The Body, I saw Misery. And I was like, oh, I love that movie. So I downloaded Misery before I even got to The Body. And I listened to I listened to it because I'm driving around all the time. And I listened to Misery. And then it was so flipping good. Like, I'm just edging my seat the whole time. And I'm like, oh my God. Like, I'm like screaming at my car radio, like, she's coming. Like, and then, so then I got done with that. Then I read The Body. So good. No, and The Body's a novella. The crazy thing about The Body is it closely follows Stand By Me. I mean, it's very, very comparable. There wasn't, there's not a ton of deviation. So then I got done with that. And then I was just like, into it or whatever. So what's the next one I did? I'm on number 4 Stephen King book in the last 2 months.
You got to get The Shining in that mix. The Shining is good.
Okay.
The Shining is.
I will.
The move. I liked the movie The Shining.
Yeah.
And then I read the book.
Yeah.
And now I hate the movie because the book is so much better.
So here's a good point. Paul says The Body, wasn't that a Bachman book? No, but I'm in the middle of a Bachman book right now called The Long Walk. And I didn't even know about Bachman. Do you know about Bachman?
Nope.
So Stephen King had a pen name, a pseudonym, Richard Bachman. That he had these books that he wrote early on in like college and stuff, and then he kept going. And one of these Bachman books is called The Long Walk, and it seemed interesting to me. It's set in a dystopian future or whatever. And these boys have to do every year. It's 100 boys. They're like they volunteer or whatever, but then they do a long walk, and it starts in Maine, and you just walk.
and they have to stay above 4 miles an hour. They get 3 warnings.
Jeez.
They get 3 warnings, and if they don't, after the 3rd warning, if they don't get back up to over 4 miles an hour, they get shot, killed.
Holy shit.
Last one standing wins, right? So it's just dystopian. As I'm reading it, though, in my mind, I'm like, man, he was ahead of his time. This is like a mix of like Hunger Games and The Body and Stand By Me. Because these boys are walking, and of course they form like friendships and kinships along as they're going and get to know each other, and then people are getting, then they're getting killed, and the mental aspect of it, dude, it's so good, I can't stop. But it was a Richard Bachman book, and so he leads the book with a big intro about Richard Bachman, and it was really cool because he talks in 3rd person about King and Bachman, about why he created Bachman. And the reason he created Bachman, he said, is that Stephen King is grounded in the world that like good guys usually win. The good guys usually win. Not always, but they usually win. And he talks about even just coming home safe at the end of the day after a good day's work. The good guy wins. Is that another good day? He's like, but Richard Bachman doesn't get that. Richard Bachman doesn't understand that good guys win. Like, bad things happen, and not everything's a happy ending. And so, and so when someone figured out that Bachman was king and leaked it, and he was like, it broke my heart. He's like, it was like a guy I knew died because I could no longer go to that well, and I could write things as Bachman that I couldn't write as king.
Boy, talking about having a burner author.
Yeah, I know. They're making another movie of The Long Walk. Yeah, I just saw that the other day. He says The Stand is my all-time favorite book, although his recent book about Kennedy assassination is close. Dark Tower, heard was good. Yeah, so I'm reading The Long Walk right now. I'm about halfway through it. I'm sure I'll polish it up.
He said the first movie sucked. Who's in the first movie? I didn't even know.
I didn't even know there was a first. I just typed in the other day, and they're going to production.
I'll Google it.
Yeah. So, anyways, all that to say, Buffington, morning, bud. All that to say, I have garnered and found a whole new respect for Stephen King.
I love this.
The way Sam Buff into house, absolutely. The way he's able to, and it's not just the horror; it's the suspense. There we go.
Long Walk 2019. Who's in it? No flipping clue. Who
No one that we know. Yeah.
Okay.
It was a Bollywood movie.
You see where my mind was at this morning?
Oh yeah, look at you,
I'm
Jamie Tart.
I'm looking up Jamie Tart, and I'm looking at. Oh, you're not supposed to see that.
You can't see that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's.
Hello, Sam.
I've just.
Gina, stop the show. Gina,
stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin.
Gina, how you doing? How you doing? I know you're healing.
Marshall,
she's
what happened?
She's healing from surgery.
Gina.
It was planned, unplanned.
Okay.
It was kind of that. It was kind of that thing. It was planned, but
unplanned. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was planned after the unplanned news.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I got you.
How you doing, Gina? We've missed you. I've stopped by the office a couple times, and I totally forgot that. I get there. I'm like, oh, I'm going to see Gina, and then I walk in the door. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. She's not here. She's recovering. So,
yeah, she's.
Hope you're doing well.
I'm always in recovery. Yeah.
Doing well. She'll be back soon.
Good.
Because when you come back to work, amazingly enough, good things happen for us.
Yeah, no kidding.
So get your ass back to work.
Need you there. Stop slacking. Yeah. So, anyways, I just wanted to throw out there, guys. Man, Stephen King is so much better than I thought.
He says Arnold Schwarzenegger, not even close to the book. I'd buy that for $1. Came from the movie. I forget the movie. The Running Man. Are you thinking of The Running Man?
Oh, yeah.
I'd buy that for $1. Yeah, that stupid phrase. I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah.
I think it was Running Man.
Anyway.
Yeah, Running Man.
So I'm going to finish this one, and then
July 1st. Good.
I want to read Dolores Claiborne, The Stand,
I would
The
say
Shining.
Save The Shining for fall. Because that's fitting.
Halloween.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, that's what I did last year. I did Frankenstein, Dracula, and The Shining. All
solid, dude.
Yeah, right around that time.
Yeah.
And I learned so much more. Like Frankenstein.
Mary Shelley.
There's so much more to the story. Like all I knew before I read it was just
it's long.
There's a mad scientist, dead guy, puts them together, comes to life, and villagers, torches, and pitchforks. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
And when you
that's all the movie showed me.
Right. And when I read the book, read the story, I'm like, wow, this is a lot more. And of course, at some points in the book, it's like, get to the point.
Yeah.
Not a knock.
There's a lot of books from that time, though. Les Miserables is a great example, I think. Les Miserables, which I love the play, the movies, all that kind of stuff. I've never read the book. If I was to read the book, it would be the abridged, not the unabridged. The unabridged is like 1,700 and some pages. Woo! But it was Professor Seal at PLU, one of my mentors there. He said to me, "You don't need to read the unabridged." He's like, because the unabridged really just has a bunch of crap in the middle about the French Revolution.
Yeah.
He's just like, and it's just a history book and a political thing.
Okay.
He's like, just beginning and end, like take out all that and just, if you just like the
I love this. I love you guys are chiming in here.
Yeah.
Okay, so Paul says, oops, never. No, he says, never mind, it was Running Man. But then Drew says it came from RoboCop. I swear that there was something in Running Man.
Yeah.
And then Paul says, read 11/22, 1963.
Okay.
And then Paul says, read the Dean Koontz books about Frankenstein's monster.
I love the book recommendations, guys, because I read a lot. So
yeah, and then he talks about the original Dracula. I loved Dracula last year because I'd never read it and listening to it.
Yeah.
We had the listing down there in Longview, so I had some time.
Oh,
on my hands.
yeah.
And I'll never forget. You ever do that when you're listening to an audiobook and you have like images that you're passing by as you're driving?
Yeah.
And then for a moment, I've done this before, where for a moment I'm kind of spacing out. I'm like, crap, I got to go back. I'm going to start this chapter over again. Yeah. And as I'm listening to the chapter, I'm like, oh, that's right. I passed the Chevron when he said that. Oh, that's right. I passed the Walmart when he said that.
Start to identify the location.
Right.
Yeah.
So that for me, that's Dracula. Like I'll always think about driving down to Longview and back because I listen to Dracula.
Yeah.
And it got so good that I'm like, what do you want? Okay, good. Yeah. We'll take care of it later.
It was funny is I used to hate audiobook.
Yeah.
And it's still not my favorite. I just love to read. I grew up reading. Rachel and I were laughing about this recently because she was like, I don't understand how you were so miserable in school and you're such a voracious reader. And I was like, but that was part of it. Like I read so much. Like I wouldn't do homework. I would be into a book and I would just read. And I would sit up at night with a flashlight in bed. My dad come in at 2 a.m. Like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm like, I can't stop once I've started. But all that to say, life is busy. 4 kids running all over the place, work, everything. I've learned to appreciate audiobook because I can listen when I'm driving around and therefore keep up on things I want to keep up on.
Yeah, and something to say is that I got the Billy Joel book from the library.
Yeah.
The ebook. Because there's apps out there where you can connect to your library and get the ebook and read it. Yeah. I got it 3 weeks ago.
Oh.
I got 3 chapters into it in 3 weeks.
Dang.
Because I'm thinking to myself, I for some reason I pressure myself. You need to read the book. You need to read the book. And it's like, there's the audiobook right there. So as we're talking about this, I'm thinking, I'm going to download the audiobook and listen to it on the way home. Oh, I can't. Ryan's coming with me. Ryan doesn't care. Anyways, but that's my point, is that audiobooks for all the driving that we do everywhere. Yeah.
And that's the thing lately. I'm listening to these King books and I'm all excited. And then Rachel will be like, hey, the kids are going with you. And I'm like, mother, father. I cannot. I'm right in the middle. You don't understand.
Don't they know that Danny is having a crisis right now with the ghost of the hotel?
Yeah, it's just.
Crab says,
Septimus Bean and his amazing machine. Absolute fire.
No idea.
I have no idea, but it's going on my list.
Paul says you're correct, damn it. And I think he's saying, Paul, I think you're saying that about how sometimes you'll lose track of listening to the audiobook and you got to go back and listen to the chapter again because you're spacing out. Stephen King read a lot of his audiobooks. I don't know if Stephen King read it. And I know he didn't read The Shining.
I seldom read a book anymore. My stepbrother writes amazing books, and I've only ever listened to them. I gotcha. Crazy book to read is Dirt. Oh, the Motley Crue bio.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what my favorite biography to read ever was? Life, Keith Richards.
Oh, boy.
Bro. Not a chapter goes by in that book where I'm like, how are you still alive? I mean, I had some fun in as a younger man, but bro. Life is a really good book.
I seldom read a book anymore. My stepbrother writes amazing books, and I've only ever listened to them. Yeah.
You want to know a funny story? And I think I've told you this. Speaking of Keith Richards, I was at a listing appointment out in the Graham area by my house, and this was like 5 years ago, with Jacob Hall for one of his clients, and they were needing to.
and they ended up not needing to sell, but they were going to possibly sell. And so I met them, and mind you, I'm in Graham, Washington.
Okay.
And I see a picture, or I see a picture of Keith Richards on the wall, or who I thought was Keith Richards. I was like, man, it looks like Keith Richards. And the gentleman, he was like, oh yeah, no, it is Keith. And I was like, oh, kind of random to have a picture of Keith Richards on your wall. And he's like, oh, he's my cousin. He's my first cousin. And I was like, all right, whatever, dude. And this guy, he didn't have like an English accent or anything like that. And so I was like, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I kind of like glazed over, like whatever, senile. And then he was like, no, for real. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And he grabs the book Life off the shelf and he opens it up, and right in there it says, to my favorite cousin or whatever, and it's signed by Keith. And then he goes and grabs a photo album, a family photo album, and he's showing me him and Keith as young boys, him and Keith as teenagers and playing guitar together. And he plays wicked guitar. And I was like, what the? And then him and his wife and Keith backstage when they're like the Stones at the Tacoma Dome, and I'm like, for real? And he was like, so I was born and raised over there. I was born in the UK, and then my mom and his mom are sisters, and he's like, we lived in England until I was like 10 or 11. So him and I grew up playing guitar together. It's like some of these pictures you see, and different things, and just running around as boys. And then my family moved here.
Wow.
To the Seattle area. He goes, but we've always stayed close. Like we would go visit, they would come visit, and all this kind of stuff. And when he would be here, we would jam together. And he's like, and so yeah, it's just Keith, man. And I'm like, that is crazy. Yeah, and he lived out in Graham.
That is cool.
Small world. So all right.
Brian Cloud says Rocket Men, the Daring Odyssey of Apollo 8, and the astronauts who made man's first journey up to the moon.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. So the book recommendations are great. So yeah, I'm really I'm in my Stephen King era right now.
Yeah, I think I need to jump back into audiobooks. I've been listening to my Tinfoil Hat podcast, which has kind of just been there to fill the air.
Yeah.
And then I got to Gig Harbor and I went, you know what? No, I actually went through the Toll Plaza and I went, you know what? I need a little Foo Fighters this morning. So I listened to Foos from the bridge to here. But yeah, I mean, when an audiobook is good, you kind of get to that point where you're like, I don't want to listen to anything else.
Yeah.
What do you mean the kids are coming?
Yeah, I know. I intentionally plan on them riding with you.
Where are you going? I'm going outside to smoke a cigar and listen to my audiobook.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, Dad? Out in nature? Yeah.
Dad's mowing the lawn again. Got my headphones on.
Yeah, I need to know what happens to the family at the hotel.
So yeah, it's the audiobooks too. It's funny in our business, everyone's always recommending to you some kind of self-help.
I'm so effing tired of self-help books.
Motivating, which
I don't know how to help myself.
And don't get me wrong, there are some good ones out there that I've read. I love the David Goggins books, both of them. There are some good ones out there that I've read. But for me, reading is an escape from the crazy. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to be driving around being told to unf myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm using.
I know.
Yeah.
I look in the mirror every morning. I know, and yet I still don't.
I know. That's why the reading for me is it's an escape. It's important for me to have that kind of outlet. So
Drew says, not gonna lie, I do enjoy a good graphic novel. Yeah.
All right.
And I do like the fact.
Well, you did never grow up, Drew.
Uh-oh.
Here it comes. Let it rip. Let it rip.
Yes. No.
There it is. Whoa! Blessings. Blessings to you and your kin.
No, I was going to say I agree with you on the escape, especially this year. That's why I dove so deep into Ted Lasso. I'm still stuck on Ted Lasso in my head. I want to go find Roy, and I want to go have coffee with him, and I want to go sit down with Ted and have a beer, and it's just a nice escape. And one of our clients, I'll share more off the air. One of our clients, he reminds me of Ted Lasso, just how he looks. He looks like Jason Sudeikis. And so I texted him on Monday. I'm like, hey, it's been too long. Let's get together and grab a beer or something. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And so I'm like, cool. I'm going to see Jason. I'm going to see so-and-so.
See Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I'm going to go see Ted Lasso. See, I knew Drew would like it. It's all for the show.
I told the other day how I was like, I think Rory and I both our favorite characters are Roy Kent. And who was it? They go
historical fiction.
They go, that makes sense.
Books by my stepbrother James D. Shipman. Constantinopolis. Going home. My favorite. It is A Bitter Rain Task Force. Bomb Irina's War. Beyond the Wire. Before the Storm.
All right.
There's a lot of good
excuse me.
books and authors to come out of the Northwest too.
Yeah.
If you're into true crime, which I went through a phase in my late teens, early 20s where all I read was true crime. I think I covered everything by Ann Rule.
You're trying to figure out how to get away with stuff.
Hey, who's to say I didn't figure it out?
That's true. Hey, so one thing real quick, and then let's move on to college football. I had no idea they were tearing apart the front of the fairgrounds.
Yeah.
I drove by it yesterday because why was I?
Goldgate, no moss.
I was meeting with Kevin yesterday.
Yeah.
And by the way, thank you, Kevin. Kevin's going to jack up my insurance.
I'm sure mine's coming.
Bella.
Oh.
Bella got her license. And it was funny because I was having a conversation with him.
Just put it in the top drawer.
And he's like, oh, well, we don't have to add Bella because she's got her permit. I said, no, bro. She's got her license. And not even missing a beat. As soon as I said license, he goes, oh, and he grabs his laptop and pulls it out. And he goes, oh, all right, I got to ask you some questions. I'm like, no, you don't.
No.
I tore up her license.
It's in the top drawer. She doesn't know where it is.
That's what I even said that. I said, what if I don't let her drive? I'm like, anyways, thanks, Kevin. But
It's hard for me as much as I love Kevin to love Kevin. Because I hate insurance.
oh my gosh. And he was sharing some things with me about the insurance industry as a whole. And I'm just like, I'm about ready to just put two middle fingers up and say, screw insurance.
Insurance.
But then I know that
I
Jay
say
Ainsley
this,
won't be happy.
hear me now. Believe me always. Insurance is the biggest scam in our country.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's not even close.
He was telling me that State Farm, and he said, I'm using.
They're not in it to protect you.
I'm using numbers, but I don't know if they're 100% accurate, but just understand the meaning behind what I'm saying. He said, right now, State Farm is paying out 114% of what they're taking in.
Wow.
So he said, for every dollar they take in, they're paying $1.14.
Yeah. How do I get my hands on that 14 cents?
Yeah, how do I get my hands on that?
Yeah.
Drew says Sharon is taking Jacob to get his driver's permit. Yeah. You know what? The nice thing is you don't have to do anything about your insurance until they get their
Lady answer,
license.
she drives everywhere. Like, I don't think unless it's like coming here, I don't think I've driven. Like,
well, your
everywhere.
daughter is very, very motivated, so that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Oh, so my point is, I'm driving by the front of the fairgrounds. They got that thing all tore apart.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's gone.
And I was looking at.
But it says exciting upgrades coming soon.
I saw a rendering of it.
Oh, did you?
I don't think I'm excited about it.
Oh, well,
Let
don't
me see
show
if
it
I
to
can
me.
find
Oh,
it.
great.
No,
Here we
I'll
go.
find it.
Mike, my insurance is the effing worst.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. What is wrong with Facebook? You're drunk.
I know, and I have several friends that are that are insurance agents or brokers, and it's like all I can do to still want to hang around them. I'm like, you're associated with the devil.
I mean, I gotta get clarity on this with Kevin again, but I thought he said something along the lines of, your insurance doesn't cover the entire destruction of your house.
There's a lot of
And like, wait, excuse me?
Greg and I were talking about this. There's a lot of people who have money who are just electing to not get insurance anymore. And they enter into cash option insurance groups. So say 100 people get together, and instead of paying an insurance company, they all just put in a certain amount every month into this, and then if someone needs to take out for medical or something like that, they cover each other that way.
I may need to take a look at that.
I know.
Where is it?
And they're saying, like, that stupid Obamacare rule where if you don't have insurance, you got to pay a fine or whatever at the end of the year. They're like, it's worth it. It's worth it.
All right. I'm vamping here, everybody, but I will find this.
Uh-oh, dead air.
Dead air. There literally was a picture on here.
Somebody play some Wiz
somebody's
Khalifa
photos. Oh yeah, that's right. It was because we got to get past the spring fair.
Exciting upgrades or updates coming soon.
Where did you see?
No, Walker Hayes, Thomas Rhett.
Yeah, we got to get past the spring fair.
A furry
photos. Oh, Christmas time. I think we got.
So it's got to be in the middle here somewhere.
So
I don't even know what it looks like, so I'm not even going to be able to catch it. Ooh, I love that stove though.
Oh, I like that. There it is. Boom. Okay. So
Whoa.
let me go ahead and share the screen so you guys can all see
a bond. This. Yeah, I need to look at that bond.
Let's go ahead and share the old the old face bag, share it. There you go. So that's all I could find. And I'm a little concerned because I think they tore up the fountain too when I drove.
What?
So maybe you drive by it today and see if you see the same thing, but I think they tore up the fountain. I don't see anything that resembles the fountain going back in.
Ever since it became Washington Fairgrounds instead of Puyallup Fairgrounds, it's been going downhill. That's my opinion.
Yeah. I'm not happy, Bob. And the thing is, I was looking at some of the comments in here, and somebody said, do we still get the fountain? I have taken my kid's annual picture there for 17 years. And someone said, the fountain is inside the gate. They're not doing anything. Duh. But then this person says it was just announced in a post today.
Announced what?
What was announced in the post?
Hey, Daryl. Freaking Daryl. I only saw the post that said it was going to stay. And I was like, okay, well, hopefully.
Hopefully it stays, but they've done a horrible job of letting you know that the fountain's going to stay.
You know what? Speaking of fountains, and I don't know if you know this because I don't know if it was a part of your life, but when I was a kid, I lived in Tacoma until partway through third grade, and then moved out.
I like what Drew says. We need someone needs to recon with a drone.
Yeah, good call, bud.
This week's episode, two guys scrolling.
So
you know what?
We're gonna change the name.
I like it.
Yeah.
Two guys, one scroll.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
No.
I'm taking you off the
Nailed
tracks.
it. No, you nailed it. I even know. Oh, Tacoma Mall, the fountain. I used to go to the Tacoma Mall when I was a kid because I was in Tacoma. I grew up in the hood until third grade. And then I moved to the hood. I moved to Grapeview. So I went from the hood to the View. And so we would still go into town to see family and friends. And we'd go to Tacoma Mall. Did you ever go to Tacoma Mall as a kid?
Yeah.
Do you remember the fountain?
Mm-hmm.
In the middle, like by the Bon Marché with the stairs?
Yep.
And you throw, I'd go down the stairs and I'd throw a coin into it and whatever, make a wish. I loved that fountain. Yeah. And I could remember like being gone in the Marine Corps or whatever, and then coming back and going to the mall and it was gone. And I was like, who in the F authorized this crap?
Do you remember an ice
still
cream
bitter.
shop called Farrelly's?
Yeah.
Or Farrell's or something like that?
Yeah.
I remember as a kid thinking, that's the place to go.
Yeah.
That's where all the cool kids got to go, was to that ice cream shop.
Tacoma Mall is garbage now. Mark my words. Yeah.
Okay. Paul says that was an Apple Cup where both teams hadn't won a game. They sold 2 shirts, 2 teams, 1 cup.
Teams hadn't won a game. Yep.
Oh, gosh. Well, you know what? That's a good segue. Oh, wait.
What are we talking about?
Paul, we'll come back to you because real quick, did you hear? Drew says, fun fact, Kansas City has the most water fountains in the U.S. I did not know that.
Oh.
But that's not the fun fact I was going to do. Did you hear the size of the balls? Did you hear?
Whoa.
Did you see the size of the balls of the Kansas legislature?
Oh, yes.
Kansas has said, listen, if Kansas City, Missouri doesn't want the Royals and the Chiefs, come on over to Kansas City, Kansas, and we'll hook you up.
Yeah, just move east a little bit, I think it is. Yeah.
It's brilliant because they don't have to change anything.
Everything's the same. New home, new state. That's it.
That's the cool thing about Kansas City. Kansas, Missouri.
So it would move west. So it's so weird, too, that whole thing, by the way.
Paul says 2 guys discussing balls.
It's seems about right. It's like a conversation with my son.
Legislature?
Sorry.
Oh, texting right in the middle of the show. That's why I put on Do Not Disturb, because I think I got
my
4
kids.
texts
They're
right
home
there.
by themselves, and
Yeah, Drew's
Okay.
right. They just have to cross the river.
you know what's funny about that area is Kansas City, the city of Kansas City. It's like 90% or 85% of it is Kansas City, Missouri, and like 15% Kansas City, Kansas.
Yeah,
like that small portion. And I would imagine, and I'm not a smart man, but I would imagine Kansas has a lot less taxes.
Oh yeah,
and like lower costs.
Oh yeah,
of good. I would imagine.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot to.
I think.
You're really not pissing off a fan base.
No.
You're not. All you're really doing is just saving yourself money and getting in a cool new stadium.
Right. I mean that you get to be the shining city on a hill as a franchise because you're not pissing off your fan base. You're literally you're moving your stadium. That's all you're doing. You're still the Kansas City Chiefs. You're still the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah.
Your fans are still there. They might have to drive a little bit further.
Yeah.
But it's brilliant. When I saw that news story, I thought Them some smart, forward-thinking people
Yeah,
there.
yeah. Can't pull it over the wool over the eyes.
Kansas has the better barbecue. There you go.
Hands
Take
down.
that, Missouri.
Just has to cross the river.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll come back to Paul here. Paul was talking about the Apple Cup, and actually, Kevin and I were talking about this yesterday. So if you don't know, if you've been living under a rock, they moved the Apple Cup to September's now because
September's.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Just so you put an S on it.
Yeah, I did. September. They're not in November's anymore. They are in September.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And it's a non-conference game because the Dogs have decided to go chase the money,
get pummeled
over to the Big Ten, and
God, I can't wait to watch that.
I can't either.
I'm excited.
And
I've never been
Cougs
so excited about Husky football in my life.
The Cougs are in the Pac-2. So,
yeah.
And I know I'm waiting for Crab to put on there, have fun in the Pac-10. Well, have fun in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, logistically, if you just stop for a second and you think,
see who wins more
logistically,
games.
it literally makes no sense for any West Coast team, not just the Dogs, to go play in the Big Ten. Makes zero sense whatsoever.
Well, who's going to the ACC?
The Pac-12
Stanford?
should have figured it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Atlantic Coast Conference.
So,
Stanford, you're supposed to be pretty smart. I don't know if you know what coast you're on.
right.
But
And it's not just the Dogs, but the Dogs are in the mix of making stupid decisions. That's stupid. Those people should have figured it out. Yeah, Mike's right. Logistically, it makes zero sense. And I'm frustrated, and I can't just pick on the Dogs, even though it's fun to pick on the Dogs. I can't just pick on the Dogs. USC, UCLA, we've beaten this dead horse. The Ducks, the Dogs. You all should have figured it out because it makes brilliant sense to stay on the West Coast. If you want to get rid of Utah and you want to get rid of Colorado, fine. Makes sense. Keep it right there on the West Coast. But no, all you geniuses had to go chase half the money to go play on the other side of the country.
I feel like I feel like that's gonna. I feel like it's gonna blow up in their face at some point.
I think it will too.
Maybe not this year, maybe not in the next 3-4 years, but I feel like at some point there's going to be a drastic shift in how college football.
Didn't something just come out in the past couple months, like a streaming deal? Was it with Apple Plus for football, or was it another deal with Prime? Something came up where it was a streaming deal, and it made me go, but it's not good enough for the Pac-10.
Yeah.
Stupid. Absolutely stupid.
Well, Pac-10 is notoriously bad leadership for a long time.
Yeah.
And on top of it, the schools themselves have not had the best.
Drew says, get to see the Huskies play in 2026 when they come to play the Huskers. There you go.
Nice.
Paul says, I don't think it's officially September permanently, although a warm Apple Cup sounds nice. Well,
warm apples.
Yeah. Crab says, financially was the only choice to stay relevant. And so now Paul says, now they're relevant, trying to stay relevant. So I'm going to go back to what Paul said.
The problem is that if you go, let's just say for the Dogs, for example, or UCLA, whatever, you go over there and play in these schools. Like, we just saw what happened in the national championship game.
Yeah.
And I know that the game was closer than it ended up. The score ended up showing at the end.
Fair.
But the reason the score ended up being where it was is because all that Michigan lumber got heavy to move after a while. And eventually the dam, the dam doesn't just burst open. Pebbles start coming off, right?
Yeah,
Little leaks start happening. Everything's compromised. And eventually, and this is every Saturday for these schools that are used to playing in a West Coast type
they're either going to
style.
be iron sharpening iron, or they're going to just be pummeled to a bloody death.
And here's the thing, recruiting-wise, I just don't see how it makes sense recruiting-wise.
So Crab says, blame the school presidents. They effed this up starting years ago. I hate to say this phrase, 100%.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
This is my favorite, Crab. In the national championship game. Say that again. I will. In the national championship game. When
Always a bride, never a bridesmaid.
When you got your
always a bridesmaid, never a bride.
When you got your ass kicked. It's by J.J. McCarthy.
Where did JJ go? Bears? No. Vikings.
And Harbaugh. Anyway, regardless, my point is still, I think that this is going to suck for recruiting for UW, UCLA, all these schools.
Like, I really do. Like, you're going to have 5-star and 4-star type athletes, right? The ones that these power conferences are chasing. Do they want to go to Michigan, Oklahoma, whatever, where they clearly have much better facilities? I mean, this has been out there for a while.
And the Dogs have nice facilities, so don't get your panties in a
No, but it has been out there for a while that their practice facilities and like weight rooms and stuff like that are well beneath some of these schools. And so where the facilities are they're huge. They're in football country.
Oh, yeah.
Where there's 100,000 people coming to your games, and you don't have to travel all over the world every week to get to games.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to be a recruiting nightmare for a lot of these schools. Like, okay, so cool. I want to play in that conference. Do I want to play for UCLA, UW, whatever, where I got to travel all over the place? Or, and the facilities are less, or do I want to go to Michigan? Do I want to go to Michigan State? Do I want to go to Oklahoma? Do I want to go, like, Texas, whatever? Like, I just think that's a recruiting nightmare. Like, you're adding a whole layer of recruiting issues.
Paul says the betrayal or the portal and paying players screwed everything. Agreed. I think you talk about all the time pendulum swings. The portal and the paying and the NIL has swung completely the other direction now. Yeah. Crab says we were there. Had we stayed with the proposed Apple streaming deal, we never would have had the chance to go again. It'll be a 2-conference system soon, and we got a seat at the table. That's really all that mattered. So
I had a seat at the table as a child at Thanksgiving as well, and I still got the scraps.
So Mike's taken the approach, and I can't disagree with it, but he's taken the approach of hell and brimstone, fire and brimstone, where basically there's going to be 2 power conferences, and everything else is going to be burned to the ground. I can't disagree that could possibly happen.
NIL has ruined college sports, 100%.
But he's absolutely correct with that. That's ruined.
And I get what he's saying. Yeah. I absolutely get what he's saying. All that to say, I think you're going to have more misery than you think, and all that for a seat at the table. Like,
Yep. But well, with that to say, Paul hits it right on the head here. Apple Cup. So I was looking at tickets with Kevin yesterday.
Yeah.
Cheap seats, nosebleed, the very top, $75.
Yeah, I'm good.
And if you want to be down there on the 100 level, $300.
And
that's cheap. $300 is cheap. I'm not going to the Apple Cup.
I have an HD LED TV that.
And that's the rub right there, is that I can pause the game if I want to, go take a leak, and then I can come back and play.
It's like we went to a Seahawks game, like whatever that was, October, November, and I'm glad we did. We had a ton of fun as a family.
Right.
But when we got home at the end of the day, I was like, and I'm ready to not go again. Like, even during the game, I was like, I need a review, I need to rewind, I need to replay. Like, and so I was like, all right, I'm glad I took the family. We had a good time. And now I'm ready to get back to my couch and watch football the way it was intended to be watched. Yeah. Drew
says a lot of these kids are all about their brand. They're going to go to a school that they get the most national TV. Yeah. And Crab says, all that to say, I hate it. We need regional college conferences.
I agree.
You guys are hitting it all in the head. And
we may get there eventually, back to it. But
I feel like it's going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to go the way the Crab is saying, where everything's going to get burned to the ground except for 2 power conferences, 2 major conferences, or schools like the Huskies and the Ducks and all, they're going to realize this was a bad idea. What if we put together a group of colleges on the West Coast and called it the Pac? We'll start with Pac 8.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen. They're going to rebrand it and go, I got a great idea.
I think if you're a Husky fan, and here's the thing, I'm not like. My mom's a Coug, obviously Rory's a Coug. I took 1 class there. I've always been a Coug fan. I've never hated the Huskies the way you do because I wasn't immersed, in it. But so if the Dogs are playing and it's not the Cougs, I'm like, I want to see the Northwest football do well or whatever.
Better man than me.
Except for the national championship game, I was full on Michigan. But
you made me root for Harbaugh.
I know. How dare thee?
That's why I hate the Huskies even more.
But the whole thing with DeBoer, is exactly why it's going to suck for the Huskies. Because given the chance, the best coaches
to stay at the UW,
the best coaches, the best recruits, the best staff, the best players will choose the Alabamas, the Michigans, the Ohio States, the Oklahomas, the Texas, over purple and gold. It just is what it is. And it's not to say I'm not insulting. I'm not saying you guys have, obviously UW had a great year.
Yeah.
And it's been
a great tradition.
And it's been a great program with a lot of tradition.
Yeah.
But it is not Alabama.
That would be like us trying
Or
to
Georgia.
say Pullman is a great place to go and play football. It is, but it's not on the same level as the Huskies.
Yeah.
We get it. We know that. That's why we like to pick on the Huskies, because we're the little brother. We're the little redheaded stepbrother.
Every sport besides men's basketball and football could very well get scrapped as this all stands now. Yeah, and it's And here's the thing, and here's the thing. I don't even watch.
Paul. I love Paul. Great program with lots of cheating and suspensions.
But you're staying in the top 5 programs in the country. I don't think you are. We're going to try to get some players coaches. I don't.
You know what? I would say you're the top 15. I could. The Ducks from the Pac-12, the former Pac-12,
Ooh.
the Ducks, the Dogs, and USC.
Here's my thing. I don't care enough about college football anymore.
Crap, but we are.
I think they're a top 25 right now. I don't think they're a top 15. And I also
program, not just this year's team, but
this year's team. Maybe program.
Maybe
program.
I think program. They're top 15.
Well, let's go down. Let's just name programs that we think are greater. And Mike, you can tell me if you agree or not. Just program wise.
Well, here I'll do this. ESPN. And we'll just pull up college football. College football. NCAA football. And let's look at standings, or maybe rankings.
All right, here we go. Let's just look at these teams, and let's just name some of these, and you tell me if they're.
I'll let everybody chime in on this as well.
A greater program.
Here you go. I'm going to share the screen. Have some college football, everybody, and there you go.
All right, Michigan, better or greater or less than Washington, program wise?
Oh, greater.
History. Okay.
Greater.
Texas,
Greater.
Georgia,
Greater.
Yep. Alabama,
Greater.
So we got 1, 2, 3. So that's 4. Florida State,
Greater.
I think greater.
Yeah.
Oregon.
Ooh.
I think you have to say greater because of the edge they have with Nike.
Just a slight edge. Yeah.
Okay.
I know you guys think we're trying to do that to piss you off. Hey, we are.
Yeah. So let's say 6. That's 6. Missouri.
No.
Nope.
No, I don't think so.
Ole Miss.
No.
Neck and neck, but we won't go with it. We won't go
Yeah.
with it. Okay. Ohio State.
Yep. Ohio State's greater.
Arizona.
No.
LSU.
Yes.
Penn State.
Yes.
Notre Dame.
Yes.
Oklahoma.
Yes.
Oklahoma State.
No.
They're neck and neck, maybe.
Yeah.
That's 11. Tennessee. Yes.
I guess overall, yes.
Yes. Much greater history.
Kansas State, no.
Louisville, no. Clemson.
As of late,
2 championships in the last. So that's more than the Dogs have.
NC State, no.
So that's now we're at 13. Okay. Ahead.
SMU?
No.
No.
Iowa. I would say yes. Iowa draws on 90,000 fans every week.
Okay. Well, then let's also talk about
14 programs that aren't even on there right now. Nebraska,
Wisconsin
ahead. Nebraska ahead. So that's 16 ahead of them.
USC,
that's 17 ahead of them.
Who are we missing?
UCLA, probably neck and neck.
Yeah, probably neck and neck.
So that's UCLA. 17 ahead. So that automatically takes you out of the top 10, 15.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like we're missing another school out of Texas.
Okay. What about Florida? Way more national. They have more national titles. They got like 3.
And they probably have more players that have gone in the NFL.
So you put them ahead. Now you got at least 18.
I put them barely ahead.
Yeah. What about Texas A&M?
No.
Okay.
No. I'd
Michigan State.
Oof. Probably neck and neck.
Auburn.
Greater. I mean,
right now we've just named at least 20 schools. That are they're at least there, if not better. So I don't know if you go with the top 10, 15.
Okay, I love this because we weren't seeing this. All right, so I'm going to put these up here on the screen for you guys. Let's see. Drew says, I'm going to be honest, these ex-Pac-12 teams are going to struggle in the Big Ten. Yep. Crab says, Oregon F, no.
That's just because you don't like Oregon.
Mike says, we're crazy. Well, yeah, that's
Mike, what am I crazy about?
Nebraska. Yeah, Nebraska struggled for a while, but Nebraska's still, I think, a bigger program. Neck and neck with OK State.
I mean, if you look at – here's the thing. You got to look at Oklahoma State's everything about them, facilities and tradition, and
They're
the
on
record
an
over
upswing.
the last 20 years has been better than
Yeah.
the Huskies.
Yeah. I agree with Paul. Go
Badgers.
Dogs and take the Ducks with you. Go back.
I want to know, Mike, who
you guys are hilarious.
I want to know who you disagree with, Mike.
Iowa
FSU,
struggled to score over 21 points a game.
Texas
FSU,
Tech, Auburn,
Texas
Baylor.
Tech,
I'm not wrong on half of them. I'm
Baylor.
not.
Yeah, maybe Baylor was the school I was thinking of, but you're wrong on half of them. The Huskies.
Which wrong? Which half? I named at least 15 that have way more national titles than you.
He says at least half your list. Matt says you just tossed out a lot of teams that haven't been in the 4-team BCS playoff, much less been there twice. I think your Cougars.
But it doesn't matter if they've been in the BCS playoff thing is a new thing, is a newer thing.
But you know the funny thing is that
We're talking about historically.
these guys talk about our crimson and gray
Yeah,
is blinding it. Your purple and gold is blinding it as well.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, let's ask people in the Midwest or the East Coast.
Let's look at the recruiting class.
Because you Husky fans, and this is what I love to hate about you guys.
Yeah.
You guys think you are a powerhouse program over the last 50 years.
Iowa and Wisconsin, maybe Michigan State. I said Michigan State I didn't know, and I said Baylor. I didn't agree with Baylor. But Iowa and Wisconsin
for
I
sure.
think are right.
Wisconsin for sure. I think Michigan State and Iowa and Baylor are probably right.
And again, I said Oklahoma State. If anything, they're neck and neck. I didn't put you above.
Neck and neck.
They weren't one of the ones I said was above UW.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Absolute. I would say I could say absolutely top 20. And I can tell you that the Cougs are probably in the top 50.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean,
I can see the argument for top 20. I think that you're crazy if you think it's top 15.
I think
top
you
10.
really have to persuade me top 15. I think you're crazy.
And by
10.
persuade, you're gonna have to like get me drunk and punch me, and like it's.
Holy Toledo, Batman, Dr. Dre, and Snoop have a bowl game this year on December 28th.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
awesome.
That's the greatest thing ever.
Paul says Boise. Yeah, I know Boise. I still think the Dogs have a better program than Boise State.
Yeah.
Not top 10.
I'm trying to think if there's any that I've missed that are historically a better option.
Yeah. See, and I could.
I think with my list,
You
I
could
had
sell
you
me
around
on top 15.
Yeah, I think my list I have you top 20. I would say around 18, 19.
Yeah,
but
you can sell.
But you could sell me on 15.
Sell me on 15. No way on top 10.
I'd be willing to have the discussion at least, Mike.
Yeah.
If you're buying,
yeah,
I'd be willing to have the discussion.
Top 10. You can wine and dine me and open the car door, and I still won't agree.
Yeah, no. There's too many. There's too much history in the SEC.
Mike says I appreciate that.
I think if you like, it's one of those things like you have to put pen to paper. It's easy as like a Husky fan or a Coug fan or whatever to be like, just let your pride get in the way and be like, no, we are. And then it's like, okay, let's make the list.
Yeah.
Let's look at the fan attendance.
Yeah.
Let's look at the recruiting classes. Let's look at the history. Let's look at and then like, okay, for real.
Rankings will be out in August, so we'll see, dude. And I know that's we're in the second half of the month here, which means we're about a month away from training camp.
Yeah.
Woo, doggy.
Here's the thing that sucks. I don't watch college football at all.
I do.
At all. I watched the national title game last year simply because it was relevant to the Northwest. I didn't watch one other game last year. No, I watched half the Apple Cup. That's how much it's turned me off, dude.
See, and here's crab. This year I put us around 30, 35. There you go.
Oh, Mike.
Mike, you just took off the purple and gold glasses.
Man.
Good job, man.
Way to back away from the bar, dude.
Dang. This guy, he's like, you know what? I'm cutting myself off.
He's looking at the list right now going, geez, Louise. I don't like Luke at all, but when he's right, he's right.
Well, and that it's
I'm a realist, bro.
that's a great thing on you because the Huskies have been beat up in the offseason.
Here's my prediction, by the way.
I'm a realist, bro.
Here's my prediction. I think that the Huskies win the Apple Cup, even though I'm a Coug fan. But I think the Cougars win more football games.
Probably.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Because we're going to be over there beating up on the Sisters of the Poor in Montana and the Dakotas. where every week the Huskies are facing some.
That's right.
Yeah. Every week the Huskies are facing some offensive line that's averaging 345.
We're gonna take our talents to the Mountain West.
Yeah. At the end of the year, it's gonna be one of those things. Remember what I was saying to somebody yesterday? We could be 0-12, but as long as we win the Apple Cup, it's a winning season. I feel like that's how it's gonna be for the Dogs this year. It's like we'll be like 10-2 or whatever, and the Dogs would be like
maybe like, I don't know,
5
6
and 7,
6 or
6 and
7. They're
6.
like, doesn't matter, bro. We won the Apple Cup.
That's right. We
and I'm
beat
like,
you.
you're not wrong. I would be
And the
same
funny
way.
thing is, there was a time I really, really, really cared about the Apple Cup. Hell, in the intro, it talks about an Apple Cup I couldn't be disappointed about. Now, if they lose the Apple Cup, okay.
Yeah.
I'm so jaded by the entire experience of how the Pac-12 dissolved.
Yeah.
That okay, cool. You're gonna play whatever.
I just
Screw it all.
do you remember the end of the national championship game? Like they kept showing like the sidelines, and everyone's just stoked, obviously on the Wolverine side and the Husky side. They just look like beat to hell. Like the linemen are just like, I'm like, this is every week now, dude.
And the thing is that the Huskies, they earned that spot.
Absolutely,
They absolutely earned being the number 2 team in the country to get to that game.
absolutely.
But the thing was, it took a toll on they had to really fight to.
Oh, there
get
were 3 or 4 games there that could have easily knocked them out. Like,
right. And so when you say that the lumber was getting too heavy, that's the thing. Michigan owns the forest and the mill.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of Big Ten schools are over there.
Some of those guys over there, I'm just like, they could show up on my house and be like, I want your daughter. And I'd be like, take her, bro. I'm sorry. Like, just
gosh.
different.
Yeah,
man.
see, and Crab agrees. The end of the conference was crappy. Drew says, better careful for what you wish for. Those teams from the Dakotas and Montana are no joke. Yeah, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
You can't sleep on them.
No, you can't.
Any
sleep on
given
them at all.
Saturday.
Any given Saturday. But I'm still to the mindset like we'll have a winning record.
Yeah.
But anyway, and it'll be interesting. I'll be like, I'm interested to see what Jed Fish does. I'm not going to watch the games, but I'll check the scores.
Yeah.
So
because I know rabid fans like Softy. He's probably got Jed Fish. He thinks Jed Fish is the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Wasn't that funny?
But he'll be on a short leash.
So many people were pissed at DeBoer, but then as soon as he's got a Jed Fish got there, they're like, dude, we made that move. We wanted Fish more than DeBoer. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Every week is not Michigan from last year. They kicked the snot out of the rest of the big, so can't count last year too. That conference hasn't had more than 2 or 3 decent teams in years. We'll see, man.
All right. Let's play
We'll
a little
see.
game. Let's play a little game called.
Just click on the conference right there. There you go. Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State.
Sorry. Let's do it like this. There. We'll grab, and I'll go ahead because I want to be fair. Fair is fair. So I'll present this. Share the screen.
Yeah, it was a good hire considering the circumstances. Absolutely, it was. I agree.
All right. So who do we got? Let's see. So their schedule. Weber State. That's a win.
You gotta love the non-conference Weber State
Right.
schedule.
Eastern Michigan. That's a win. Washington State.
See what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna. Yeah. Northwestern. I don't know much about Northwestern.
We'll see.
Looks like last year.
8-5 playing in the
Is this their
Big Ten.
guess? This is what they're guessing.
No, that was yeah, maybe. What do they got Washington at?
Where is Washington? No, this must be.
Oh
2023.
yeah, that was 2023. Yeah,
Okay, so Northwestern was 5-4, or overall 8-5. That's ugly.
not too.
Rutgers.
Yeah,
You
but
got to
they
go to Rutgers. Oh my gosh, Rutgers 3-6. Okay,
7 wins.
Michigan. Chance are that you'll lose to Michigan.
Iowa.
Iowa.
Iowa's a top 10
Iowa's
program
up there.
last year,
Indiana. Indiana sucked. You
Yeah.
know what? Playing SC.
and Penn State.
Penn State. Who's coaching SC? I feel like it was somebody new.
Pete Carroll.
Yeah, nailed it.
Oh no! What's his face? He went from Oklahoma.
Is it Cristobal?
Oh no! Crab went from Oklahoma. Younger guy.
That bastard.
The drawl. He left Oklahoma.
No Husky fan. See, there you go. No Husky fan wanted DeBoer to go. Not effing one. He was a good hire concerning Riley.
Lincoln Riley.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Because
Yeah.
there was a news story about it. That's right. Never mind. I don't want to bring that up.
Yeah.
Penn State is going to be a tough one. At Penn State, yeah, that's going to be a tough one. And then versus UCLA, and then your guys' new Apple Cup at Oregon. Yeah. So let's see.
I mean, I see at least a 500.
Win. We'll give you the Apple Cup. Win. Northwestern.
Don't know. At Rutgers.
Well, we
it's
got to
gonna
make
be-
a decision.
It's
Is
versus.
it's at home.
You know what? I'll be nice and give you a win.
Give you a win. Rutgers.
I think it's a loss.
Yeah, we'll give that a loss. So you guys are gonna start off at 4-0, or 4-0. You're gonna be like, oh, we're awesome.
You got to go to at Rutgers all the way to New York.
And then Michigan's coming here, but still,
I think it's a loss.
Yep, that's a loss. So now you're 4-2.
At Iowa,
you're
loss.
4-3. Indiana, you're 5-3. USC, you're 5-4.
At
You're
Penn State.
5-5. I'm not
6
going to be
and 5.
nice.
We'll go 6
wait.
and 5.
6 and 5 because you're going to be at home, and then you're going to be so you're 6-6.
I got you at 6 and
You guys
6.
have a okay. So you guys will go to a bowl
Yeah.
game. You go to the Snoop Dogg bowl game.
Dude, I might even go to that one. Hoping
That
for the
becomes a
halftime
win.
entertainment. Yeah. So anyway,
All right. Well, right on.
what's
There you
our
go.
schedule?
Oh yeah. Well, let's look at our schedule. We go back to present. Share the screen. There you go. Bob's your uncle.
I'm just excited to see how Colorado falls apart again this
Oh,
season.
not that one. Let's go to WSU, and we're going to go to WSU.
Then we got to wrap this up. We've
Yeah.
been on too long.
Oh, but we're talking about sports, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Oh, and looks like we're slowing down the internet here.
Someone just flushed the toilet, so we
Yeah.
lost.
Okay. Portland State
Win.
Texas Tech. Ooh.
It's at home. I'm giving us the win.
All right, you're going to be optimistic. Give us a win. Okay. And then, so we said that was a loss, so 2-1.
San Jose State at home. I think that's a win.
Okay, 3-1.
At Boise State, loss. 3-2.
3-2. Fresno State, 3-3.
Okay.
Versus Hawaii,
At home in October, they win.
4-3. San Diego State, 4-4. Utah State, 5-4. New Mexico,
6-4.
Oregon State, last year we won, so I'll say this year they win 6-5. Wyoming,
7-5.
Wyoming's
7-5 though.
7-5. Yeah, I mean, the funny thing is we're going to be right there in line with
We'll see.
these guys.
We'll
All
see.
right.
You never know though.
Who's excited to see how Colorado falls apart against?
You know
what's going to be funny is if they tear it up. If Coach Prime was able to clean house and get his players in there, boy, you'll not hear
There's
the
a lot
end
of
of it.
haters on Coach Prime, and I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it's because of how flashy he's been in the past. But
cares?
literally, the guy, everything he touches, almost. turns
But
to
also,
gold.
like, I follow him on like the socials. Like, he really like just preaches positivity in
Yeah.
his players and like uplifting young men and helping young men become
We can't have
like
that.
great leaders and good fathers and husbands. And then people are just like, yeah, right, screw that guy. Like, so anyway, all right.
Real quick. All right.
well,
Well, that's it, you guys.
Yeah.
We literally threw together an entire hodgepodge of stuff today.
it was better than last week. Last week was the worst show we've ever done.
He said, yeah, last week sucked because he talked big early and then his team just fell apart. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
same thing happened to Ted Lasso. It worked out for him.
yeah. Jamie Tart, Jamie Tart,
He's here. He's there. He's everywhere.
Hey, Roy Kent. Roy Kent. All right.
That's it. That's all. So big graduation party this weekend.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Yep, I'll be there. Sunday, who knows what's going on. And then next week, possibly, we'll have the graduate show.
Yeah.
But you know what else is happening next week? And I'm stoked for this. I know this the presidential debate is next Thursday.
Oh my God.
I am bringing my popcorn, I am bringing my booze, and I'm having a drinking game.
It's so funny. I was talking to my dad about this. My dad's so funny because my dad is like the Husky or the Cougar fan that's blinded by their colors. you know?
Yes,
So we were
yes.
talking about it, and I was like, Dad, and he's just ripping into Trump or whatever. And I was fine. I'm like, whatever, go ahead and rip into Trump. Like, I'm not going to argue with it. And then I go, so then I was like, but seriously, Dad, like Joe Biden, well, and he goes, he's still, he went, by the time he was done, I was like, man, no wonder you love the guy. Like, he's like, oh, he's running marathons and riding his bike. And I go, Dad, he hasn't done that in forever. The last time he rode his bike, he fell off. And he goes, I've fallen off my bike. And I go, by forgetting to put your leg out? And he was like, so then I go, okay, how do you explain this? And I showed him the D-Day thing. And I was like, watch him. Where's he going?
He's going to talk to the ghosts.
I go, where's he going? And I go, oh, look at Jill's got his arm. They're walking up the stage. And the French president is looking around trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And my dad's like, well, I'm sure he had a good reason. And I was like, yeah, there was an ice cream stand out there. And I was like, Dad, I'm not saying that Trump is.
There's a little girl with long hair over there.
I'm not saying that Trump is the best option. Or
No,
anything like that.
no,
But what
no,
I'm
no.
telling you is this: you, Dad, went through 7 years of Alzheimer's with Grandpa. We know what it looks like.
what does that look like? And he's like, well, I don't know. We all have senior moments. That's what he said.
Oh, my gosh.
And I go, we can't afford the president to be having senior moments. Rory goes down.
Oh, my gosh.
Great show, guys. Today's my birthday. Oh.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Hilditch.
Happy Matt Day.
Happy Matt. Everyone, go give Matt a hug if you see him.
Yep. Give him a hug.
He's a hugger.
Give him a slap on the rear end. Say happy birthday.
If I see Matt, he's getting one of those right there on the keister.
Yeah, I got to be careful.
Yeah.
I may fall out of this chair.
Dude, these chairs. I did that a couple weeks ago. All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right.
See you Saturday.
Wait, let me find this real quick. I'm going to still talk because, there's the video for the end of the show. All right, you guys, take care of yourselves. We'll see you next week with graduates or without, drunk or sober. We don't know, but we'll find out.
I prefer the first option.
That was wonderful.
Bravo!
I loved that.
Oh, it was great.
Well, it was pretty good.
Well, it wasn't bad.
Well, there were parts of it that weren't very good, though.
It could have been a lot better.
I didn't really like it.
It was pretty terrible.
It was bad.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Get him away!
Hey, boo!
Boo!